Good morning and welcome back to the Opportunistic Trader for September 7th, a Friday. Happy to have a Friday and joined again by my cohort and partner, Vince. Good morning, Vince.
I am happy to be here, Larry. It's better than being in the markets for the last couple of days for me. Thanks for
That's
having me.
It's always a pleasure. I want to discuss first our trading yesterday. That was hopefully people
Stellar,
did.
I think.
Wasn't one of our better days. I tried to buy the Nasdaq twice during the day. Got stopped out both times. It's always good to use stops, even though sometimes you probably don't want to. But by using stops, it takes you out of positions that you shouldn't be in. So we got stopped out twice at Nasdaq. A little bit of a disappointing trading day for myself because I was really just focused on, I've been focused on, as we've been discussing, which has worked as a charm. So I hope people utilized it in their trading. But the short Nasdaq, long, big cap Dow worked again yesterday pretty good. Working a little bit today. I expected an unwind of it yesterday, but it actually went 2 full days like this, which is surprising for us. And we'll be looking at that spread again and looking to make some trades there. Yesterday, gold, when we spoke on the air in the morning, was up about $10. It ended up being up a couple. And oil did the fadey fade like it does all the time. It's actually down about $4 from the week high, and it's flattish today, but it looks kind of heavy. And looking,
Our American expatriate, Tracy, has been all over that. She called the market as overvalued a couple days ago, so hat tip to her for that.
for sure, for sure. And then let's just look at overseas markets. Interesting trade last night as we were watching that extremely boring football game till the last 2 minutes or minute. Just seems like the NFL is always like that. People were waiting for the implementation of tariffs, and it didn't materialize. Trump faded as usual, and when he has a bad golf round or he gets in a bad mood.
Wait, you're talking about, I'm sorry, this is for the audience as well as me. You're talking about China, not the whole NAFTA stuff, right?
I'm talking about Trump implementing China tariffs. That's
Right, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So they came and went, no implementation. We were thinking the market may rally, but it looks like we're going to have a significantly lower opening. Nothing crazy, but from there we're going to have to make decisions on if we would like to on next moves and whatnot. But interesting, like Trump yesterday went after Japan again, like he always does. It's a country a day, exactly, a different country a day. So he hit them a little bit and said, "Hey, you're our best friend, but we're gonna get you." So
Right. You're our best friend. China wants to annihilate you. North Korea also hates you for World War II genocide. And instead of just saying, "Hey, join us," or "We're going to walk away," he bullied them. That's the way he is.
yeah, so that happened, and then overall, market traded heavy. They crushed the FANG again. It's all lower again today, so that safe money bet in some FANGs is not working. So I think obviously depending on data that we have today and whatnot, maybe if they get down a bit, try the Nasdaq again. Maybe the third time will be a charm. But we'll look at that. But interesting, in China was up small. It was actually up almost 1.5% at midnight and faded a little bit. And Japan was down, but that was already priced in from Trump's midday comments. And the Hang Seng is down, and it's the same mantra that we have pretty much every day. All the foreign markets are terrible. You pointed out something that I want to discuss, so we'll keep it, tabled. But you're saying that there's just tons of flow going into short-term money market. So I don't know if that money's going to be forced back into the market or stay on
No,
the sideline.
the trend could, to your point, the trend could continue. Um, the only thing I do want to add for active traders is anyone who's confused about the deadline, September 5th versus September 6th. September 5th was the deadline for the government to have permission to implement the tariffs. September 6th was a deadline for people to basically complain about it. Now Trump can implement them whenever he wants. He has all discretion to do so. So you could have a headline midday where the implementation actually comes, or you may not. So
Right,
be aware of that.
Yeah, you just have to. He's fighting too many people. We'll discuss NAFTA. I just want to roll through. European markets are slightly lower, 20 to 30 basis points. Cannot catch a bid. Same mantra. No buyers until that's all buyers. But right now, no buyers. And then scrolling to us. The S&P's down 5 handles, Nasdaq's down 17, oil flat, gold up 2, currencies.
You owe me $1.
I do.
I think.
I don't know, Mike.
The only signal I have that works is the one that I'm not
Turkish
trading.
lira.
Dollar Turkey right now is.
Vince said I owe him $1.
Yeah, that's low.
The low was 641.60. What was our strike for me to be right?
I don't remember. Thank God I
I
forgot.
know that. I know my loss level was 664. I think it's 640. Okay, let's call it 641. I'm not in the money yet.
Okay, good. So I'm alive on that. We'll see where that goes. And
No, but I'm sorry. I don't mean to sidetrack you.
No, that's all good. I know you want your dollar. So
No. We're gonna let it roll. I'm want a $2 bill from you.
All right. Let's look at the straddle today. Straddle is pricing in. It's actually pricing at about 13.5, so it's very high relative to where we've been. It's not high in general, so we'll keep an eye on that. And overall, I sort of want to discuss external stuff, thoughts that you may have, and go from there and try to get done here before 8:30 for the number, which
Yes.
is the big number today at 8:25. I'd like to be done. So it's up for you, Vince.
There's a lot of stuff I could talk about, but I really don't want to hog the air here because it's more active trading that's going to be very important. It's based on headlines. China is in a sentence. China's not backing down. They're going to print as much yuan as they have to debase their own currency and offset any future, not current, any future tariffs that we're going to levy on them. At the same time, they're using capital controls. For those not familiar with the term, they're basically raising margins on anyone who wants to short offshore yuan. So they want to eat their cake. They want to have it too, and they will in the short term. The long term, they'll break the backs of their own population. So if you're looking at the yuan today, know that capital controls are probably going to stabilize the market a little bit. That's all I'd have to say about that. On NAFTA, as you said, it's on, it's off. It's a dynamic thing based on two egos. One is passive aggressive, one is aggressive aggressive, and we just have to watch and see on that. Trade the Canadian dollar on that as you wish. Gold, I hate it because I love it. I said to not buy gold as it entered the low teens. I did buy gold as it entered low teens, then it proceeded to drop per my common sense, not my system. So be aware of that. If gold goes back into the low teens, it may be a buy. It's skating up to 20. It may be a sale, but you have to use your own judgment on that. I would be more interested in your take on stock market potential behavior with tariffs looming, with NAFTA looming, with cash going to the sidelines, with jobs coming out. How do you play this today? Do you trade it 3 times? Do you have a down and out number percentage-wise on a day? Do you just keep trying it until you do it?
No, I'm not. I might not even trade NASDAQ today. I don't even know. I mean, I'd like to, as discussed late yesterday, if the market looks weak, I may want to take a stab at it. I still think, I still think we trade higher in here at some point. I think the
So
headline.
you would, I'm just trying to give a soundbite to people
But
that really
I
pay attention to what you're saying.
I can't give
Uh,
you. I can't.
No, I'm giving the soundbite. Tell me if
I
I'm
get it,
wrong.
but I can't
You'd
give.
rather sell strength than weakness,
No, I
is what you would
can't.
say?
I can't. No, that's all basis the trade and the setup for the day and how we
Right.
look. And the markets are funny because when it goes higher, it feels like it wants to go higher, and when it goes lower, it feels like it wants to go lower. And but we're back inside of the range that we've been in for a couple of months. We took out the highs of that range in the last week of August, probably holiday stuff. We're about 50 handles or 45 handles lower. I wouldn't call it an inflection point. We're at a point where people, if we come in, could get a little bit nervous. I don't think the number plays big into it today. They're looking for about 191,000 of job creation for whatever reason, as my buddy who I trade with all the time would say, it's 200 every month, no matter what. So it's been
That's a good point.
For 10 years, it's 200. Somehow the unemployment number fluctuates around.
Well, it's the rule of two. We'll get back to you in 2 weeks, and jobs are 200,000. That's a good point.
Yeah. So that I don't think is going to be too market moving. The the market in general is up for obviously news headlines. I mean, listen, my thought.
The VIX tells you that, right? The VIX is telling you that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the VIX is up to 15, but it's still low and inherent. I mean, it traded 50 this year, so people are been buying puts for 2 weeks now or a week and a half. I don't know if it'll work for them or it's protection, but
dude, I gotta wonder, did they buy enough, or is it like did everyone buy puts, or did 1/3 of them buy puts, and we're gonna have a total debacle of put buying if we do sell off? That's what I don't know.
You know what? I don't know. I mean, I look at the MOCs every day, and the MOC, other than maybe 1 day a week, is 4 days over for sale. So, and there's stock coming in for sale. They're swallowing it up, but whoever wants to get out can get out. And it's interesting out there. These stocks are still very, very high, especially on the FANG, but they could go higher. I just think it's interesting that Amazon hit $1 trillion intraday valuation and then just died on the vine. It's now the worst stock in the world. So that to me is interesting. There's a lot of stuff out there. Again, it's the same mantra that we've been spotting for weeks. It's other markets are very weak, causing us to be weak, but we're really weak, but not that weak. So, as you would say, what the best
tallest pygmy?
Yeah, exactly. The best house on,
we'll see when the day ends if that's true, right?
Yeah. And overall, markets are just sitting, waiting, pretty much unchanged, other than equities, and that's sort of what I see. I'm gonna have to wait for the number to make decisions. I'm a little, I wouldn't say pissed at myself, but more pissed at the market that I've really been on this trade, haven't played it really for myself, talked about it and thought it was a good thing to do, but I wasn't there myself, which I've been there a little bit inside of this move over the last 3 or 4 days, but not in the way I need it to be. So that I'm a little upset about, and then I'm upset about the trading. But I gotta, as you know, you gotta move past that, as from our trading life.
Yes, from the advice that you have given me, and I have echoed back to you offline. Not to say that I'm giving you advice at all, but I think
advice. But
I think for the audience, I think this is very important because we come from opposite disciplines, Not to say we're not disciplined. The audience should really focus here. When I say things like, what's your plan? What's your gun to your head? And typically Larry will say, I am flexible on the fly. He's saying, I believe, I know what I'm doing. I come in with a strategy and hope to implement tactics. Larry comes in with an empty, with a clean slate and looks for if I'm wrong, because I'm not good at this, I've tried this, and looks for things that line up that don't make sense and looks for an asymmetrical trade. Problem with my style is you end up getting married to an idea. Problem with Larry's style is, and I'm not, this is just a fact. When you have that flexibility, you really need to be watching that tape. And if your time is divided, you'll only take 2 handles out of the 5-handle trade you see. And I think that's what you might be beating yourself up about. You're right, but not as profitable as you should be on them.
No, I mean, I was happy until I lost. I'm not a happy loser. So we're gonna get back on track today. We're gonna do our thing, and we're gonna look at action after the number. If you were giving me a pre-number look at what I think the market probably trades down and then firms, but again, I don't know from what levels.
Right. The news doesn't matter. The reaction to the news is what matters. That's really what I hear when I hear you talk.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know what, I don't know what, like, usually I come in and I'm very, I wouldn't say certain, but I'm seeing it. And like today, I don't know what, what's going on. I watched the DAX rally 30 points and the S&P goes down. Then I'm watching the DAX sell off and the S&P goes up. So there's no correlation there. So that's really what I try to do, is just find correlations between markets against other markets. And, looking at the FANG, again, it's for sale.
Right.
Again, that
after you roll into Apple, what do you roll into next?
Well, Apple,
like if you're a rotation, if you're a FANG rotator is what I'm saying. After you roll into Apple, what's next?
I don't think they're FANG rotating. I just don't know what it is, but we picked up a couple of days ago that it was interesting. Usually the FANG moves in line, which it's doing now every day for the last 3 days. It's been getting smashed.
Right.
But before that, like 2 or 3 days before that, it was weird. They were buying Apple and selling Facebook and buying Amazon and selling Google and Netflix, and I didn't understand it. But now, it's back on the FANG train. So
I think, and again, this is like me making a Bloomberg headline: markets up as rabbits run for the hills. I think that the rotation that we saw for the days in the past were probably related to people positioning themselves before that congressional hearing. And now the congressional hearing is over, we're back to normal, which is what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe that was it. I mean, I traded a lot of Twitter in my day, and Twitter's getting smoked down. It's $30. I was long that thing at 16, and it didn't move for years, but at 30, it's good. So
operationally, anybody who's trading Twitter or anybody who uses Twitter, and this is a self-plug as well as a truth statement, post that conference, an algo was released by Jack, the guy who runs Twitter. And if you have multiple ISPs, let's say you use a Twitter client and you have 2 people posting, you will occasionally have your tweets disallowed. Little by little, censorship is coming in. They throw Alex Jones off Facebook, love him or hate him. That's what they're doing. Twitter is now aggressively, post this congressional hearing, changing how you see stuff. Pay close attention to this, guys. They're throttling your timeline. So it doesn't come in chronologically anymore. It comes in as to what is most popular. Just be aware of that. You're not going to get that. Freedom is being taken away on this stuff. I'm not being political about it. I'm talking about
Vince. Are you employed by Twitter and Facebook?
No, I'm telling you.
You know too much.
Well, I'll tell you. When I sent a tweet out, yesterday, and then one of the interns that works with me we use this Twitter client product, which basically allows you to have group tweets, and he tried to retweet it, and Twitter blocked him. Like, what the F? And so I talked to a friend of mine who is a Twitter, vigilante, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they're starting already to show that they're complying with the government." So I know too much for my own good. I'm saying, we don't do that. Twitter will come to us, folks. You're not going to get what you want on Twitter anymore. That's what's going to happen.
I don't know about that. Are you playing the guitar back there?
I am not playing the guitar. I'm playing
hearing
a sitar.
Are you going to play
I'm
us
playing.
a song before we get the unemployment number? What?
It would be a whole lot of love. That's probably the only one I know. I'm playing a sitar in honor of the Chinese tariffs.
That is funny. So that's sort of it. It's about 6 minutes, 7 minutes before the number. I wanna wrap it. I'm gonna come back on by 9 to discuss reaction to the number and potential positioning. If you want to join me and you're not in your guitar lesson, I'd love to have you. And I wish everybody luck today. Right now at the Opportunistic Trader, I don't think we have any position. Do you have any positions, Vince?
I do not, other than my trade with you. That is
That's a big one. So we're
it is a big one.
flat. We're going to be reactional. We're going to wait to see the data, parse it out, make decisions, and go from there. So I'll be back to everyone before the opening. Good luck.
Peace.